Well, hello, you dirty potters. How are you today? Because I've been hiding something from you realistically. Whenever someone messages me and goes, I would like a commission, I very, very rarely do individual commissions. But last year, the shop called Tea Cozy in Sacramento, California, where I live, don't spread that around, asked me and Lindsay to make a bunch of Avatar The Last Airbender teacups. They put them in a little package of tea and they sold them off, right? And I think they either sold out or they're really close because they commissioned me for 50 more of them, which means I have to throw 50 of these in no time flat. Granted, these were kind of specialty order. The ones I saw on my website look like this, while the ones that I'm making for Tea Cozy look like this. Tell me in the comments below if you would like to buy them from my website, although Tea Cozy probably has a much better deal because they're selling it with like a tea package and an Uncle Iroh theme set and things like that. But I need to make a lot of these in the course of about 2 weeks. Granted, I'm already ahead of the game. I've made about maybe 20, 25 of them already, but in today's video, we gotta make the other half. I'm really lucky that I kept the measurements from the last time that I made these because they ordered them and it took like a year for them to order another batch, right? And I was like, oh, I don't really know how and then I pulled this cup off, which is essentially one that I kept for myself. And I was like, oh, what's this paper here? The exact measurements. So in today's video, we have to throw and trim about 20 or 30 of those little teacups, put the silkscreen on them, make the glaze, do the thing, you know, the whole commission gambit. It's a lot of effort too, honestly. Commissions usually take a fairly long time because if you're willing to work with the client, you essentially have to make a prototype and then get information on what they want and then deliver exactly what they say to the T, because half the time if you get this kind of abstract idea without them giving you creative privileges, like just make whatever you want, if they don't have that kind of attitude, they often kick back the product and you've wasted a lot of time and effort. So I'm pretty happy to work with Tea Cozy considering I already know exactly what they want. Can I show you something? Before we get started, can I show you something? Lindsay gave me this idea and I am madly in love with it. I've already bought more bottles offline, but Lindsay decided to get like a bunch of fancy Victorian looking bottles and put her cobalt and oxides and chemicals in there, you know, stuff that you don't need a large amount of. And I was like, I'm gonna take that idea, it's mine now. I went to my mom's house and she was just like, yeah, I don't understand why I would ever need these bottles. They're empty, they look nice, you can totally have them. So I am just gonna start a little collection of all these oxides and carbonates and put them in fancy bottles. Maybe make a couple of shelves. That way my studio looks a tiny bit nicer. That's a lot of chrome oxide. I'll tell you a secret that a lot of potters who make their own glazes don't tell you. We hoard chemicals and we just don't tell anybody the amount that we have. So when the pit runs out, we have some, we just don't share it. Wow, imagine running out of chrome green oxide. Couldn't be me. The extremely crazy thing is that cobalt usually changes its source and its pit and its purity over time. So you can kind of see what era I got each and every cobalt in. So this is all cobalt carbonate, but this is my newest cobalt carbonate. This one I bought a couple years ago, and this is my oldest cobalt carbonate, something that was dug up maybe about 10 years ago. That's been in a bag that I found in an old studio, and they're all drastically different colors. I don't know how much this affects the color, and because of that, even though the chemistry is relatively the same, they often have different colors. So I get a little freaked out sometimes where I'm like, oh no, did I put a frit inside the cobalt? Oh no. But no, it is all cobalt, albeit just from different times in like history.
counted. Look, I counted, and you said the episode was 50 cups, and that's not 50 cups. I counted them. I'm tired of you questioning me. There's more over here. I couldn't put them all on this one piece of wood. I'm tired of you questioning me all the time.
There's actually something that my slipper came off. Yeah, that's right, I wear slippers. I'm a comfort boy when I do the big work. Something I forgot to actually tell you, Potters, is that these 50 cups aren't just like a store came up to me and asked me to do a commission for them and I said yes. This is kind of a personal thing for me. The store that I'm making these for, I already went to. It's called Tea Cozy, and I already go to them for a lot of my tea needs. But some of the employees there evidently are Avatar nerds like myself, and they wanted to make like this tea set, this little box with different teas that represent each nation and like a little Pai Sho White Lotus piece, and they wanted teacups to go along with that package. They gave me one. I will put a picture of it up here for you. Can't believe I forgot to tell you that, honestly. From your point of view, it probably looks like I'm just making 50 cups for no reason, but realistically, I'm making these for this store to make this package of stuff that they've already made like 50 to 100 orders of, and now they want a secondary set of them. Oh, I actually found one. So this is what it looks like right here. Hopefully the camera will focus on it. It's like a little tiny teacup with all the Avatar symbols on it. This is our next step. The next step is to get a stencil, so you can find that too. It's like a silk screen that I have, and I push glaze through it. And this is the glaze that I'll be pushing through it. This kind of white glaze that I've meshed together with some, I don't really know what it's called. This is it right here if you take a picture of it, but it essentially makes the glaze extra thick, which allows it to be pushed through the silk screen much more clean than just like shoving glaze through there. The next step to this is to make the glaze for this. I have my own recipe, I have it on Glazy, but I'm not gonna use my base recipe for my clear. I'm actually gonna use a digital fire recipe, which is a recipe that handles thermal expansion really well. This is a new type of clay body from a company called IMCO, and I don't know how the thermal expansion will handle my glaze recipe. I'm just gonna use one that ends up expanding and contrasting with the clay body, like as a base glaze, right? So next, we have to make this digital fire recipe. now that we have our glaze, we have to glaze all of these on the inside. The way the original commission went is that we're not gonna glaze the outside at all. We're gonna leave it a very natural clay body, much like the last batch that I did. So we only need to glaze the food safe parts of this entire pot. The cool thing about that is that there's a very specific technique that potters do to do this, where we just put glaze on the inside of something, roll it, put it into the next thing. If I can do that 50 times in succession, I think we'll be good. Although I don't know if I have enough glaze to do that 50 times straight, but I think if I can roll one to the next one and so on and so forth, this will be a fairly quick process. You know, I knew in my heart of hearts that 400 grams of clear gloss glaze would not cover 50 cups in totality. We didn't even get any. I thought we'd get like at least here to half, because the other half's over there. We got like 20% of the way. So I'm probably gonna have to make at least 1,200 more grams. There's two things that are true in this universe. 400 grams of a glaze does not cover 50 cups, and number two, jet fuel does not melt steel beams. I need to get another workspace or something. I need to here's my general workspace with the window and the lighting that you get most of your episodes on. But I need to put one like right here and move this back there and put one there so I can have like a little table jutsu of just workspace, you know? Because doing this was actually fairly complicated, considering over here I'm doing glaze recipe tests, and over here is like the store restock stuff, and over here is my glazes. I need like a tiny bit more space somewhere else. All right, well now that all of the hard work is done, we just gotta put these in the kiln. You remember that one time I yelled at you and I was like, quit questioning me about everything. There's 50 here. Don't worry about it. Ticker gerbs. It was about states rights or whatever lie I told you. I've been sanding these down and I slowly realized I in fact am like 2 off. I made rows of 8. I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows of 8, and I didn't even finish the 6th one. So that means I'm at least 2 or 3 off. I'm sorry. You could leave the comment. This time I give you the permission. Leave the "I told you so" comment. I apologize. I'm a man enough to admit when I have mistakes. I'm based. Well, thank you. Oh, well, now I'm short, I guess. So nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. You can be a shorty, high, shorty. Well, thank you, Dirty Potters, for joining me today. You know, I wanted you to see me make these because last year I made the same exact batch, and I did a really bad job at promoting it. I think they probably would have sold out way faster for the store. By the way, this is the name of the store in Sacramento, California. You don't have to go to this store in order to get one of these. And these come with a nice little package of tea that correlate to a book. Lindsay and Dylan and I are already making its own video about it. I will link it down below if it's out already. If it's not, I don't know, just wait, I guess. I will link Tea Cozy's website as well as where you can get one of these down in the description below. I love your Dirty Potter faces. Have a great holiday. Hopefully this video comes out before the holidays. In case you want to get one of these, you can get one for whoever, you know, you got a little crush. You got a little Katara back home, you want to get in there. I don't know why I said Katara, because honestly, it like my pick would have been like Kyoshi, or my pick would have been like, I forgot her name, Sokka's girlfriend. Not the moon, the second, well, not her, like it's the third girlfriend, I guess. Sokka was kind of a city boy.
Thank you for your patronage.
I honestly don't know why I said Katara, because Aang could have gotten better. Like, wait, he could have just got, it's the first girl he saw was the first girl he went for. He could have gotten way better than the person in the group who focused so much on her trauma when everyone else had way worse trauma that she messed up plans for the group multiple times. Which, by the way, there's like the closest thing to a god is in love with her, and she's like, no, I'm gonna go make out with this homeless guy in the forest. He seems cool. I hate Katara, man.